What's up guys, Jesse here, and in this video I wanted to talk to you guys about food and my personal journey with that. I was, gosh, how far back do I even want to go? I mean, I grew up basically on a very small farm. We had a little under 15 acres. I can't remember the exact number. I grew up in a log home. We had a lot of animals. We grew up with dozens of goats, chickens. We had horses. We had a lot of stuff. We had like a quarter acre sized garden. No, it wasn't that big. But it was big. But like what I'm trying to say here is I grew up with like good healthy food. And then as I got older, I obviously being an American just became used to eating things like Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A, Bojangles, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Burger King, McDonald's, yeah, just stuff like that, Pizza Hut, things that we eat in America, and kind of getting further and further away from that garden, and further into sugar. And then it started, a big part that was impactful for me is that I started dating this girl a few months into us dating. She claimed to have had cancer. Now, I'm just gonna go ahead and preface this and like nip this in the bud. This person, I did wind up getting married to them. And I don't really feel like reliving all of this, so I'm just gonna say it rather quickly. But anyway, when we met, we were together for not very long. I wanna say like 2 months, and she had told me the story of how she had had cancer before previously to that, how she had undergone chemo. She, I think like within 2 months of us dating, said that it was back, and so that led to this life of her laying in bed, and me, her claiming that the only thing that she could eat was like Chinese food takeout, because that's the only thing that didn't taste like metal to her, and drinking ginger ale. And so being the type of person that I am, I was constantly getting this for her. It's the only thing that she would eat, so that's what I started eating a lot of, just like really gross food. Only food that was takeout. She really didn't like things that were made, like i.e. cooked by me, which was kind of the way that I ate previously to that. But anyway, turns out that she didn't have cancer ever. We got married because she told me that she was pregnant, which also was never true. I'm always asked about this, and how it's like possible. It is a thing known as pseudo psychosis, if you guys want to look it up. I'm not here to be your therapist or psychologist expert. I'm just someone who came across someone like this. Her other diagnosis, well, you know what? I'm not even going to get into that because it's pointless. The point here is my diet and things that like led me and shaped me. So that happened, and that was like a thing in my life. And I basically started eating a horrible diet. And through it, I gained about 40 pounds. Now, when I came out of that relationship, my mind was really messed up. My heart was really messed up. My outlook on the world was warped and twisted. And I knew that for me, the fastest path to change was through diet. And I discovered I started watching like Netflix movies, and came across like juicing diets. I had already done the Master Cleanse, if you're not familiar with that. It's lemon juice, cayenne pepper, maple syrup, organic maple syrup, and water. And you just drink that for 10 days. I had done that a few times. I know it sounds crazy and out there, but you'll do a lot of things when you get to your threshold. I was at my threshold with this, so I was like, because my ex-wife had cancer, I was like an avid juicer. I was constantly trying to get her to do this. I was trying to be a picture of health, but I was also constantly surrounded by food that went against my goals. So I juiced. I loved that. I still love it, but it's not like a major part of my life anymore. It actually took a lot of time and energy, just the energy of cleaning the juicer and cleaning up all of the stuff after a juice has been made. But if you do it, like, great for you. I'm all for it. But anyway, juicing into left this relationship. I was like 40 pounds overweight. I wanted to change that. Started going to the gym and looking up like high testosterone diets, because I started linking testosterone to energy. So I started eating that way, which was very akin to a gluten-free sort of paleo-esque diet, like avoiding sugar, having whole foods in their whole form. But I wasn't like, I had no rules around it, so I would do that a little bit, and then I would do like still a lot of like burger and fries and pizza eating and tacos. Not that there's anything wrong with tacos. Don't want to go there. But it just wasn't, I was seeing result, but not the kind of results that I was after. Then I came across Tim Ferriss's 4 Hour Body. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. His diet recommendation in that is the slow carb diet. I did that for about a month is what I lasted. And nothing against Tim Ferriss or people that do this diet. It just really did not work for me, mainly because I chose black beans, and the way that this diet works is you eat beans for breakfast, or slow carbs. And the idea being that slow carbs take 6 to 9 hours to turn into energy. So if you're eating breakfast, beans for breakfast, by the end of the day, you have like this huge energy burst. Well, I didn't really ever experience that because I chose a bean that I was actually allergic to, and I never really figured this stuff out. Well, actually, what that book did was help me understand that I was allergic to stuff. And then where did that go? I started to discover keto. Started to really get into keto, but still wasn't able to put the whole picture together. And that led me to the bulletproof diet, which was kind of the way that I was already doing keto. Just the caveat was that it was from like the perspective of a biohacker. And that is what led me into the wonderful world of biohacking and like what I love so much now. And just that book alone, that idea actually was introduced to me from my good friend Travis Shallow. He introduced me to bulletproof coffee, and I was like, this dude's crazy. Like, he was like, yeah, man, check out this coffee. Showed me it online, and it was like $70. And I was like, like, never in your life. And he was like, yeah, it's definitely an investment, but it's worth it. Like, you just gotta try it. And then like 2 years went by, and finally I got the book, and then got all of the other recipes, including bulletproof coffee. And then as soon as I tried bulletproof coffee, it was like, bing, like the chakras aligned. It was as if my mind, my brain had been a sleeping computer, and within one sip of that drink, I turned on, because I had been experimenting with MCT oil already, because of keto, learning to put MCT oil on your foods to boost your ketones, and like you could just take MCT oil, and so I would often just take a spoonful of it in the morning. I would take spoonfuls of coconut oil in the morning and just eat that, for appetite suppression and the energy boost and blah blah blah. And it like made my stomach burn like crazy, and but I would keep doing it, hoping that it was going to be different for me eventually. When I had the coffee, which, I mean, this isn't like some kind of, it doesn't have to be anything crazily special. It's coffee, preferably organic, MCT oil. You can use any MCT oil, but obviously he's going to recommend that you use brain octane. Although I do notice a difference between brain octane and all of the other MCT oils. And grass-fed butter, grass-fed ghee. I don't do either of those things because I'm on a plant-based diet. I just do MCT oil. You can also use cacao butter, which is quite delicious, but I skip it. It's like whatever to me now. And yeah, the bulletproof diet, it exploded my energy, my ability to think. I actually like built a business in 3 months after discovering this diet, and like my mind turning on. And then I did that for like 3 years. Just learned huge more amounts about food, and really like fell in love with nutrition and all the things that you can do with it, and things that you can change. And it's just fascinating to me. And so anyway, yeah, 3 years later, I was still kind of attempting to do it. It's not always that easy because you have to have a plan of what you're going to eat. And so if you get really caught up in life, it's hard to have that plan when you start to run out of food. So anyway, then I started losing too much weight, and I started getting too skinny. I got down to like 153. I'm 6'1", and I didn't like that. So I kind of started looking at it as like, this is like a weight loss diet. And then I had to rework my way out of that into a weight gain diet, which I know is not like a lot of people's problems, but we do exist. One major thing that I forgot to mention about diet was that within discovering keto, I discovered that because I suffered from psoriasis at the time, as I touched my psoriasis spot on my ankle. It's gone now. There's a big scar there. It looks actually a lot better than it ever has. But I discovered that psoriasis was linked to gluten, which gluten was the cause of leaky gut. Leaky gut is what causes the psoriasis. So no amount of me putting coconut oil on it, soaking it in like saltwater baths, like the endless number of things that I would try to do to the outside, I needed to fix my inside. And the way actually that I did that was with L-glutamine. I'm just going to tell you guys this. L-glutamine repairs leaky gut rapidly, instead of spending like the year or 2 or 5 that it takes for it to heal from not eating gluten. But it's however you'd like to do it, if you want to do it at all, or if you just want to keep pushing through and suffering through, and like having pizza, pretzels, bagels, like all the stuff that like causes it. But anyway, I reached my threshold, and I said I'm not going any further, like I need to fix this. And so I did. I fixed it with L-glutamine, like I said, and the way that you do that is you take whatever it comes in, it's usually a 5,000 like IU or whatever the measurement is, scooper. You do 1 before you eat in the morning, you do that for a week, and then you do 2 scoops before you eat, 30 to 45 minutes before you eat in the morning. Then once you do that for like a week, then you do before breakfast and then before lunch, and you do that for like 2 weeks, and then you do 3 times a day, 2 scoops 3 times a day. And it healed my psoriasis within 60 days. And yeah, so anyway, back to the present. So I lost weight and now I'm trying to gain weight. So I was trying to gain weight and I was eating like a pound of grass-fed beef every single day. I was consuming like 3,500 calories every day, and I was losing weight every day. So this became really frustrating, and so I like changed everything that I was doing. I began to eat breakfast every time. I had a high carb breakfast, which is not what I'm currently doing, but that's okay, because I have also learned in all of this process to not get attached to one thing. I'm also on a plant-based diet, and I really like that. And if you're eating meat anyway, you should be within a plant-based diet and having like small amounts of meat, because there's actually an extraordinary amount of protein in vegetables. And I get this question all the time, like, how do you get your protein? Try to do a protein fast. That's my challenge for you. You're not going to be able to eat anything. But anyway, I get my protein the same way I did when I was eating meat. I have protein shakes. I have a 60 grams of protein every morning in a shake. And then my macros are set at 123 grams of protein a day, somewhere in that range, 120. So I get my other 60 grams of protein in the several meals that I eat. Yeah, but anyway, so I left the bulletproof kind of protocol, reduced fat, so was also leaving keto, started introducing carbs like oatmeal, the potato, although that's on the bulletproof diet, like maybe let's say I didn't leave the bulletproof diet, I reworked it for my needs. So now, what am I? I'm a bodybuilder because I'm trying to build my body. I am a plant-based eater. I spend 3/4 of the day in keto for the cognitive brain function aspect of it, the energy, and then I carb load at night, which just means potatoes and lentils and things of that nature. And yeah, so that is my food journey, my diet journey, and the things that I just want to say this: the things that I have chosen to eat have had the most profound aspect on the most profound impact on every aspect of my life, bar none. And so if you guys are like having difficulty with this, I completely understand. And I want to just let you know that you should be forgiving on yourself. And you shouldn't just like, if you can't figure something out, don't just like throw it all down and pick up the box of donuts and say like, I'm done with it, I'm not messing with this, because it's not that hard, but it does take some effort. And one of the things that I can offer is that through this whole process and through reading my copy of the Bulletproof Diet, I eventually went to the coaching school that was founded out of the Bulletproof Diet. So I am now a coach. So if any of you guys out there are struggling with any of this stuff, I can and do want to help. And so yeah, if anyone's interested in my coaching, I'm here for you for that. If you just want to know more about any of this stuff and you want me to make more videos, just let me know. Like, send me a comment, give me a like, subscribe, just let me know how I can help. My name's Jesse, I'm here to help.